I didn't have a chance to call Adrian's games, but being a basketball gym rat, I watched Adrian for many a year, followed him even when he was at the Matha. Great hands, an offensive machine. I would have had every adjective to describe you, Adrian. You should have been in this Hall of Fame years ago. I look here and I see Patrick Ewing. Patrick, to me, you talk about intimidation. You talk about the game of basketball in terms of being valuable to your team without even scoring a point. His court presence when I did games and Patrick played on a collegiate level, he would just absolutely be worth 20 points to Georgetown by his name in the lineup card. Just a special guy off the court as well. The dream, Olajuwon. I will never ever forget the certain moments in your life, and he and I reminisced about it. He played his freshman year, and I did the Sugar Bowl. And the Sugar Bowl game, we're on the elevator over in New Orleans. It's just Hakeem and myself. At that time, he's just a young kid dreaming of being a player. And he was a little down on himself because he just was starting out. And I looked at him, and I'll never forget this. We shook hands. I said, son, listen to me. You have things they can't teach. You have size, agility, mobility, and someday you are going to be special. Well, I was right with an analysis one time in my life because you are special, my friend. Special, as Eddie said, what makes this class so unique. Get to know these people away from the basketball landscape. They are winners in the biggest game we all play, the game of life. The next fella, a master communicator, who also did a great job in finding a wife who really he overachieved in, so did I, but that's okay. But I'll tell you this, a beautiful man with heart of gold. We had our Dick Vitale Gala. He'll get embarrassed here, but I'm going to say it anyway. We had our Dick Vitale Gala to raise money for my buddy Jimmy V. We raised over $1 million. As the night was coming down to an end, we had a woman, as Pat will remember, she spoke about losing her daughter. She talked to the crowd about the fact that coaches, you lose a game, you get a chance to coach again. I'm never going to get a chance to coach my daughter or see my little girl. And there wasn't a dry eye in a place. When the night ended, Mr. Riley raised his hand and he donated $100,000 to the V Foundation for Cancer Research. A winner in anything he would do in life. Just meet him for 5 minutes and you know he's a winner. Cathy, as Pat said, I couldn't say it any better. 29 years of age, and you packed the bags. It's at the end of the coaching. I guess you saw Sonny coming along in Philadelphia. So Sonny, by the way, I see him sitting here, has done a marvelous job for the youth in Philadelphia and across this nation. Sonny, congratulations. But Cathy, just her record at Immaculata, I knew one of the girls that played for her, just absolutely marveled how she dominated the college scene. Myself, my buddy used to say it the best. A boy with all a dream. Hey, you don't have to go to Harvard to figure out that all of these people, look at their numbers. It's like in baseball, it was on ESPN the other day. Win 300 games, you're in the Hall of Fame. Hit 500 home runs, you're in the Hall of Fame. 3,000 hits, you're in the Hall of Fame. You check their numbers. There's no way they can be denied. But in my case, it's a subjective feeling. It's a feeling of whether you think one belongs, and I simply say this, to the critics possibly, who didn't think I belonged, I say you motivated me, inspired me, and even gave me more passion to work harder. To the Jim O'Connells, sitting here, the Dick Weisses and the Bob Ryans and the John Feinsteins, and those people who felt I belonged in, I simply say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Hello, welcome to So Much to Talk About. My pleasure to have Mr. Coach, the coach, Dick Vitale, 2008 inductee. Pleasure, sir.
Wow, it's great to be here. Super.
And I grew up admiring your knowledge for the game and your enthusiasm is so wonderful. And the first question I want to ask, you started out as a teacher in the New Jersey area. How much it means to you to teach the young kids about not just being better players, but better people in life, better contributors to society?
Well, you know, I think youngsters have to realize that basketball is only a short part of their life. And I think it's very important that they learn all the other characteristics that can help them grow in the game of life, the game game that everyone plays. I mean, that's the most important game in the world. But you can utilize the discipline and the unbelievable work ethic that's really required in being an athlete and use it in a positive way.
Coach Bob Knight spearheaded a letter writing campaign to get you in which you deserve, definitely. And talk about like how how everyone respects you so much and loves what you do.
Well, I was so proud that Bob on his own did that. I'm even prouder that he's going to present me tonight. Think about the winningest coach in the history of the game. Bob Knight, to me, epitomizes integrity, loyalty, epitomizes all that's good about coaching. He believes in the American way, getting the most out of your talent and ability. Bob Knight is a friend. I think the one thing I respect about him as well and admire is the gift of friendship. We are friends away from basketball.
You talked about these basketball vagabonds, that come out of high school and don't really have a direction. They just want to make that money and don't see the bigger picture. Talk about what's going on with Brandon Jennings, like can this start a trend of kids going to Europe and things like that and not experiencing college?
Well, I think in the case of Jennings, that's a unique situation. I think most kids have to realize that college basketball is probably a better avenue for them. However, there are some, like you saw LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. I've often believed that there should be a scenario where the great player, if he wants to go directly to the NBA, allow him to go. But once every kid steps on a college campus, he should have to be there for 3 years and play for those 3 years and get an education, because there's so many kids that come out that aren't ready mentally, physically, or emotionally. But if somebody's ready, I have no problem with that.
Coach Vitale, please share real quick a lesson, like any advice that you have for the audience out here from your teaching experience.
Well, my advice would be very simply, have a passion and love for what you're doing, have great work ethic in what you do, make good decisions in your personal life, and it usually equals win in a game of life. And remember this, if a guy like myself in 1970, teaching the 6th grade, and in 7 years goes to the NBA as a head coach, gets fired, bounces back, and I could get into the Hall of Fame, you can get in the Hall of Fame.
Coach Vitale, an honor. Thank you, sir.